And I was just minding my own business, trying to get my leg workout done, as one does when they're at the gym, right? So I go up to go get water, and as I'm getting water, I see somebody's hand go like this out of the corner of my eye, okay? So I look up, and it's this guy, and he's like standing like kind of close. So he gives me a compliment, which was nice, but then immediately he says, "How old are you?" And I was like kind of caught off guard a little bit, but in the moment, I just was honest, so I told him how old I was. Not only did he not tell me how old he was, but his response was just crazy, okay? So this was his response. Then without saying anything, he turns around and heads straight back to the corner of the gym where the free weights are and starts lifting weights. So mind you, this guy had to have been 22 maybe. He looked young, so he was a Gen Z boy. And I would say the whole interaction took like 30 seconds, so it was the fastest I was ever hit on and then rejected ever in the same moment. But honestly, like, not to tear someone down on like looks, because I don't like to do that. And I'm definitely like one that's like, personality is a big thing for me when it comes to like relationships and things like that. But this guy was literally like my height, okay? It looked like he weighed close to what I weigh. So I wouldn't have gone for you.
So what's the issue? The man said, "Hey, you look pretty. How old are you?" He told him your age. He was like, "Oh, okay." Then he walked off. What's the problem here? I'm not getting it. Maybe he wasn't interested anymore. He walked off. Handle the rejection gracefully. Go on about your day.
Remember that video I made a little while ago about, gyms starting to go bankrupt? Well, guess what? It's actually happened. About 80% of gym goers have officially stopped going to the gyms. In the last month, January, this is the month where everybody signs up for the gyms, they have noticed a 275% decline in the number of new gym memberships. It looks like gyms are becoming exclusively female spaces. However, places that sell gym equipment have noticed a dramatic spike in buying of equipment. So yes, it has officially happened. Women, you have managed to kick men out of the gym. Men's responses is they're building their own gyms. Dear gyms, may I make a recommendation? You either need to make the gym male only with a female only section, or you need to remove cameras from the gym and make it a suable offense. Just saying. Ladies have made spaces not safe for men. So we either need to make spaces not safe for women, or remove the woman's right to have a camera. Pick one.
Can we just take a moment to really take in how hateful men are whenever women actually find a space that's safe for them and there's no men around? They just really genuinely don't want women to thrive, and it's crazy. Like, how are you going to find somebody on the internet and be like, "I hope you go bankrupt"? Because I had numerous comments that basically said, "Oh, you're going to go bankrupt for opening a women's only gym." Meanwhile, every time I've ever mentioned a women's only gym, women are ecstatic about it. They're like, "Yes, I want that." Also, let's highlight this last little portion. There's no attention factor involved. I currently work at a very successful women's only gym in Kansas City. And I promise you that the outfits that girls wear in women's only gyms are way more revealing than they would ever have in a co-ed gym. So the attention factor was never about attention. The clothing and things like that was always about how confident or how comfortable a woman was in what she just wanted to wear what she wanted to wear without being stared at, without having creepy guys make comments or just like drooling over her. Because guess what? That's real, and it's very disturbing and very annoying to have to deal with. That is what a women's gym is for, is to feel safe, to actually go and not have to be on guard all the time, to actually just go and be relaxed, enjoy their time without having to look over their shoulder all the time. That is what a women's gym is for. So it is insane that there was this many comments, and If you look at any viral video that goes about women's only gyms, like every single one, the men are just hateful for no reason. And I genuinely believe it's because they are mad that women are thriving. Nope, that's not true. Guess what? I know I'm going to be successful. I know this gym is going to take off, and I know this is going to be such a powerful place for women to heal. I'm not just talking about transforming bodies. I'm talking about transforming souls. I'm talking deep-rooted transformation in the best possible way. All about community and sisterhood and laughing and feeling safe and growing both in the gym and outside of the gym. That's what this is all about. So these comments, they're going to come. I know they will. But I just want to really point out the fact that why? Just why? I'll never fully understand it. But you know what? It's cool because now every time some guy comments some stupid comment like this, it just brings more attention. So anyway, if you're in Denver and looking for a women's only gym, stay tuned. Follow along because we got some good news coming.
It doesn't matter if they are ecstatic about it. Women are ecstatic about anything. They're ecstatic about other women getting paid, even though the women are not pulling in any money. You know what I mean? I think the women in the WNBA should get paid as much as the men in the NBA. Well, they're not bringing in any money. They're not as much as the men in the NBA. You know, it's the same thing for soccer. Women play football, it'd be the same thing for football. Now, you might pull in money in other industries like modeling, where a man, he's not able to compete or not able to compete as much as you, but that's your domain. Women tend to support that sort of thing. So, I mean, you can get mad at a man saying this all you want, but they're going to say, yay, great, do it, I'm coming, but it'd only be like 2 or 3 of them. Literally, I'm actually thinking of a gym right now where, you know, I think she started it, but mostly men come. So she's training mostly men. There's a few women here and there, but it's mostly men coming.
I don't talk about my relationships on the internet, but I've been seeing a lot of pick Misha videos on my For You page, and I just wanted to give some tips. This is not for the pick me's. This is not for you all. This is for the young ladies, young women, mature women that you have set a standard for yourself, right? My family set a standard for me, and then I, in my adult years, build on that standard. So my standards are very high. I am not willing. I will die single before I am willing to bring a lifestyle that I'm currently maintaining down for a Dusty. So if this sounds like you, stay, right? These are my tips. First and foremost, break up with them quickly. Get out of there, okay? A lot of girls get in there. Oh, he's so cute. He's so fine. It don't matter. I ain't never lost a man that I ain't get a better one. There's a lot of chickens in the field. Pick another one. But if you sit there and you waste weeks, months, years, decades on men who don't like you, don't want you, don't need you, don't call you, inconsistent, they know that you want flowers, don't get you no flowers, they know you want, they don't care, they don't like you. They don't like you. And it's okay. Go get another one. Break up with them quickly. As soon as it's a red flag, get out of there. It's not yellow. It's not orange. It's red. If it's not green, it's red. Get out of there quickly. Number 2, if they're inconsistent, out of there. Okay. I like my men to like me a lot more than I like them. That's how it should be. I'm not a chaser. That's not in my feminine energy. I don't even know how to do that, right? I never had to chase a parent. I never had to chase a cousin. I never had to chase a friend. Why am I chasing a man? Like I said before, there's a lot of chickens in the field. There's a lot of chickens in the field. Go get another one. And they could be like, oh, well, we can go get another female. Yeah, but you ain't never going to get one like me, honey. And me knowing that with my standards this way, I'm willing to wait. Third point in case, right? I say this often. If a man ever decides to talk out of his neck to me, my husband would never talk to me like that. Sometimes you have to bring yourself back to reality and be like, my husband would never do that. My husband would never talk to me like that. I don't care what's going on. I don't care the situation. I don't care what he's going through. I don't care how stressed he is. He would never talk to me like that. So yeah, you're not my husband. You're in the way. You got to get out of there, right? A lot of the times we stay complacent because it's comfortable and you're settling. And I'm here to hold your hand and tell you, get out of there. I promise you, if y'all really knew my dating life, y'all would just trust me that these tips work. okay? Have high standards, stick to them, do not come down for dust. And if you're up here, right, the person should be elevating you. It's not about what do I bring to the table. If a man ever asks you what you bring to the table, first of all, you can birth his future generations. What can he do for you? What can he do for you? I'll wait. I'll hold your hand. Because a lot of y'all are, oh, he's so fine. Oh, he has potential. I don't believe in potential. I believe in reality. What can you do for me today? Because I'm already doing it. Right? I don't care about potential. My bills are due today. What can you do for me today? Like I said, I don't talk about my relationships on the internet. But I've been seeing a lot of pick me content. I don't know what's going on. And if you got pretty privilege, baby, use that. Okay? Use that. Look good. Look better. Okay? Don't step out your house looking crazy. You never know who you're going to meet. Okay? One time I met somebody on my roster at a bowling party, birthday bowling party. Not at the club. Your husband's not at the club. I'm sorry. And if you're the 0.00001%, that you don't count. Your husband's not at the club. And if he's 40 at the club, he's surely not your husband. Stop dealing with these boys. I don't care how old they are. They're boys. That's in the way of your husband. Get out of there quickly. Quickly. Okay, quickly. If he wants some after a dinner, what are you doing? That's a creep, not a husband. Your husband would never ask you for that after a meal that you can pay for. And if he asks you to pay, get out of there quickly because he's homeless.
See a lot of women making these videos and it all sounds great. But for most of these modern women, especially the ones in the comments, they're going to be messing with a dusty. They're going to be right back messing with a brokey. And then they're going to say, give it about, I don't know, a few months, because they're riding high on emotion. New year, new me. They're making vision boards and all that stuff. Give it about 4 or 5 months. They're going to be talking about how there's no men and they're just going to run back to Chad. So all of this sounds great. Even the quote, I think she says right here, I ain't never lost a man and didn't get a better one. All that sounds cute until we know, wait a minute, most of these women are still single. They're still single.
Okay, I need to make something clear to the ladies, and I'm gonna piss them off, so be it, but it needs to be said, honestly. If you are a girl, and you are bragging about how many guys hit you up, or how many dudes you have in your DM, or how big your roster is, okay? That is not a flex. Matter of fact, you should be embarrassed, because it's showing how easily accessible you are, and that's not a good thing, okay? You being promiscuous, that's embarrassing, okay? It's not something you should be proud of. Or, even this one's gonna get the ladies. The girls that always say, my exes always come back, like I must not be the problem. Girl, they're coming back because of how easily accessible you are. Come on.
Why don't men check out women at the gym anymore? A lot of men are keeping their heads down and they're trying to pretend that women don't exist at the gym. Social media has absolutely destroyed natural interactions at the gym, and it's unfortunate. Guys who happen to glance over for half a second or accidentally making eye contact, he's labeled as a creep. A lot of men have gotten the overall message to not engage, to not take the risk. The second a guy even glances over in the general direction of a woman, she's got her phone out recording him for social media, completely blowing it out of proportion. Men know that a single false allegation could totally ruin their lives. And at the gym, it's one of the worst places for that risk to actually happen. Even if he offers to help her, he could be considered mansplaining fitness to her, or his very existence makes these women feel uncomfortable. When the reality is most men just go to the gym to get a good workout in. He's there to improve himself. And no man wants to be that creepy guy staring at you mid-squat. The audacity, there's actually some women who get upset that men aren't looking. They spent 30 minutes picking out the perfect gym outfit for them. And then when the men don't look, they're asking, where are all the good men? Why aren't men interested anymore? It's unfortunate it's gone to the point where men don't even feel comfortable going to the gym anymore because of this. They have to act so unnatural.
And you know what? I lied. I am materialistic and I am shallow, and when pressed, I am probably a bad feminist. I want to be a wife. I want a giant rock on my finger to show that I am worthy. I want a good man. I want a good man with calloused hands and a loud laugh to teach me how to live. I want everyone to salivate with envy when I pull him down beside me. I want them to whisper behind manicured hands about how good I must be getting it, and I want them to be right. I want to get it good, and I want to get it often. I want world-defining pleasure. I want bended knee worship. I want a California king-size bed and white sheets. I want somebody else to do my dishes and my laundry and my cleaning. I want to wear expensive clothes, and I want them to be tailored, and I want them to be mine. I read somewhere that smoking cigarettes during the day makes you look poor. I want to smoke cigarettes like a rich girl. I want to be a rich girl. I want my opulence to be tied to my moral righteousness. I want a wealth ordained by God. I want everyone to know that I'm deserving of everything I've got because I am. Lord, I am.
Innuendos on a first date is a very risky thing to do, but if you do it properly and the girl is feeling you, it's so rewarding. A few months back, I took this nice woman to Del Bar, and the food was good, the conversation was flowing, everything was nice. At the end of the meal, she was just like, oh, I want to see the dessert because I'm a big dessert person. She looks at the menu, the thing that she wanted wasn't available, so she passes on dessert. But the date is still going really well, so we're like, hey, let's grab a drink from around here. So we go across the street to Pennant Park. There's this poster that says some shit like, try our chocolate lava cake. She was just like, oh, I love chocolate lava cake. I was just like, do you want some? Because you didn't get to get dessert at the last place. She was just like, nah, and so we passed on it. Fast forward, we're having a few drinks, we're having some nice conversation, we get to talking about music. She's talking about Victoria Monet, and she was just like, yeah, I loved her last album, and I was just like, oh, Age of Pleasure, and she was just like, no, Jaguar 2, and I was just like, I'm thinking of Janelle Monáe, the other Monet. And when I say Janelle Monáe, she tucks in and she's just like, listen, I ain't no lesbian, but I would take Janelle Monáe down. And I was just like, oh, for real? And she was just like, yeah, Janelle Monáe, Tiana Taylor, and Kehlani can all get it. Fantastic lineup. I was just like, oh, I'd love to be squashed between them like a s'more. So she goes, okay, if you're the chocolate and Janelle Monáe and Tiana Taylor are the graham crackers, who's the marshmallow? Some white woman? Not necessarily. So she says, okay, if you're not gonna be a s'more, then what would you be? And I said, I'd be a chocolate lava cake. Then she's just like, okay, if you're chocolate lava cake, are you the chocolate or are you the cake? I told her I'd be the chocolate. She asked me, why would you be the chocolate? And I said, I don't know. The chocolate just gets to come in the cake.
It's definitely risky, but a win is a win.
I knew I was a little crazy when I woke up at like 4 o'clock in the morning, and I woke my boyfriend up and I was like, hey, my sister needs help moving. Like, I don't know why she told us last minute. She said she was embarrassed, but she needs to be out the house by 12. He was like, oh man. I said, you don't have to do nothing. It's all of us coming there or whatever. We don't need your help. You can just stay here. He said, all right. Thanks, babe. Thanks. Well, let's go to his trunk. I went into his trunk. I don't know why I did this at the time that I'm thinking, but I went and I got into his trunk and I waited. So it's like 9 o'clock in the morning now. I got my phone in the back of the truck. I got little snacks. Like, I didn't have to pee or anything, so I'm good. We started driving somewhere. He went to 3 different places. One was like a store or whatever, and the other 2 was houses, like just separate times apart, right? Like, he spent an hour at the store and then drove to one of the house and spent like 3 hours there, and then drove to the next house and spent like an hour or so there, maybe like an hour, 30 minutes. So, he texted me and I'm just like, oh, I can't talk right now on the phone. Like, we're still moving. He's like, are you good? I said, yeah, I'm good. So he drives to Walmart. Y'all, it's late at night now. I stayed in that truck all night. I don't know why I was in the trunk, for real. I stayed in the trunk all day. And I'm just like, we stopped at Walmart. I was like, maybe I should get out and get me something. And I was like, nah, I don't really need something. Like, I actually need to go pee. So I'm finna get out. I hear somebody coming. So I'm just like, I don't know if that's him or not. I'm gonna just hold it. Long story short, he opens up the trunk and he sees me. I scream. He screams. He like, what the fuck are you doing? I said, oh, I just seen you in the Walmart and I just decided to hop in the trunk and scare you. He ate it. He believed it. So I was like, oh, okay, So later on, I'm just like, I wonder who houses those are. I go and do, a mission to see who houses it was. I had to wait like 4 hours at one of the houses. Like, I wasn't like in front of the house, but I was parked a little bit. And I'm just like, who house are these?
So a woman in the comments said, I must be crazy too, because red flag for me was him not at least offering his manly moving furniture muscles to help your sister move, even though it was a lie and no one's moving, but you're in the trunk. She responded and said, I said it'll be fast and it was a lot of us already. What's going to happen is he's going to have to handle the heavy stuff. So he's going to have to figure out how to handle or carry out your big furniture. He's going to have to take your bed apart or and any other furniture that you have. So he's already going to be tired from that. Then y'all are going to be stuffing those boxes to the brim. At first, y'all might try to do it little cutesy and write the name, but as it gets later and later, you're going to be stuffing anything and everything into that box. And those boxes, regardless of how heavy or light they are, it's going to be a lot of them, and he's going to have to do all. You might carry an occasional box, but most of that work is going to be on him. Why don't y'all, instead of all of y'all getting together and going over there, pitch in and have her hire some movers so you won't waste your boyfriend's time?
I need a yap. I need to get something off my chest. I don't know what to do because I'm so frustrated. I let somebody who I considered a really deep friend, we've been there for each other through really tough times in our lives, and this person came to me and asked to borrow money. Mind you, prior to this, I saw that she was going through a tough time, and I just want to love on her. That's just what I do for my tribe. I love on the people in my tribe. And so I sent her $100. I'm like, go spoil yourself, treat yourself. I love you. Things get better. Everything will be okay. I didn't want anything in return. That is just me loving on the people around me, right? Fast forward, she reaches out to me this time asking to borrow $1,500. And I'm the type of friend where if I see you struggling and I can help you out, or if there's anything I can do to help you, people I care about, because I feel like you do it for me, I will step in. So I thought about it and I'm like, man, that's a decent amount of money, right? So I prayed about it, I thought about it, and I was like, we're such good friends that I know she would pay me back. And she said, I can pay you back within 30 days of you lending me this money. I'm just in a tight spot right now. So I was like, okay. And I literally responded, if you can pay me back within 30 days, I will lend you this money. Okay, Gucci, whatever. So with a hesitation in my spirit a little bit, I said, God, I know you know our relationship, like you wouldn't, let me get caught up in something crazy. I sent the money to her account, okay? So fast forward a month, no money, okay? So I send my first courtesy text being like, hey, just kind of checking in, what's going on? I'm so sorry, yada, yada, things are still tight, but I'm working on it. I can pay you back in like smaller increments, right? I'm like, okay. Another month goes by. I have to be the one to reach out again on the status of my money. $0 to my bank account, 0 text messages, 0 communication about where the money's at. And I'm like, this is just kind of awkward. Like, it feels awkward for me. It puts me in a weird spot. Like, I lent you money out of the genuosity of my heart, right? And now I have to track that money down, and it just feels so gross. I don't know how to describe it. It just feels so gross and just not me, where I'm like, I'm a loving, caring person, but also like, where's my money at, right? So literally we're like going into month 3, okay? I'm getting irritated because it's not like there's communication being like, hey, I'm going to pay you the money back soon. Hey, I'm so sorry. Here's $300. Here's $400. I'm sorry, they're in smaller payments, yada, yada, yada. So we went from a 30-day window to now literally almost 3 months later, and we're almost going into the end of the year. Like, this money was lent out in August, okay? And let's pause right there. The reason why I'm so upset is because it's the audacity for me. You're going to post Snapchat stories, Instagram stories, and post on Facebook that you're at football games, that you're going out, that you're at concerts, that you're drinking, that you even put a parlay on a football game hoping you win. But your best friend, when you're really good friends, has seen $0 of anything, no communication, no nothing. So I finally hit the point where I just had to be real with myself and set my boundaries, right? Because I'm obviously not good at that. So I set my boundaries. So last Tuesday, and I said, okay, hey, I hope you understand where I'm coming from. I would like to have this money back by December 31st. Here's the payment plan. Even had ChatGPT help me break it down so it looks clean and concise. And I said, I would like my money back by December 31st. Starting this weekend, you can pay me X amount of dollars, and here are the payment plans and when they're due, right? Happens, this weekend goes by. I don't even get a text back from that, by the way. this weekend goes by, last week goes by, radio silence. But what's not radio silence? The Instagram story of being at an Ohio State football game. I don't want to lose this friendship, but I feel like I'm just at the point where I just feel so awkward about it all now. And I feel so, once again, just taken advantage of. And it's just so gross for me that there's been zero communication, zero effort in giving me my money back. If that was me borrowing money, I would have been like, hey, I'm so sorry. We are 3 months past the due date. Here is something. I wouldn't be taking photos of me running around downtown St. Pete, going to a Rowdies game, gambling at the Hard Rock Casino. I'm shooketh. Like, and I don't know what to do at this point because I want my $1,500 back, and it feels like nothing's clocking that I'm due what I'm due. Like, I mean, what would you do, I guess?
What are we talking about here? You already lost a friendship. She wasn't broke. She didn't have anything going on. She was asking you for money the first time because she was being irresponsible. And she was doing it the second time. She said, oh, 100. Let me go ahead and hit that. Whoop, 100. 1,500. A wing and a prayer to Hail Mary, but let's see. You see, this is why men are not dating a lot of modern women anymore. Because they do things like that. This is why a lot of modern women get ghosted. Because they act like this. Make no mistake about it. You are not the only one going through this. I guarantee you, there is a man somewhere that has had to endure this. And when she couldn't get a man to do it, she turned to her friends. This is how modern women are.
I've said it before and I'll say it again. Being the single friend when you're in your 30s feels like when the server brought out everybody else's food except for yours. And at first there's no reason to panic because you're like, I'm gonna wait. Like mine is coming very soon. I know it. And then it doesn't come. People are like, well, maybe what you ordered is too complicated. And it's just like the human equivalent of a salad. I looked at the menu carefully. Some of these items were kind of expensive and didn't seem worth it. Like, I know the salad was a good choice because the only time it didn't work out for me was when, like, the chicken was undercooked. Timing was off. Right salad, wrong time. So you're just sitting there while everybody else is eating and you're like, okay. I'm pretty sure I followed all the rules. I sat down, they asked what I wanted, I said this. Everyone did the same. Theirs showed up. And I guess I'm going home with a coupon.
Well, I think for a lot of people who go to the restaurant, you know, they figure, well, we don't have all night. The restaurant closes at 10 o'clock. I see something good right here. I'm going to pick it. But for some people, they're so indecisive. I want chicken, but not tonight. What about a steak? Just had a steak last night. What about lamb? Lamb's not really my thing. No. What about goat? What about frog? Alligator? Pork? What about any of those? I'm willing to try pork. Maybe the frog. Bring me a sample of the frog. Bring me a sample of the pork. Bring me a sample of the alligator. And honestly, by the time you decide to pick a dish, it's 9:45, 9:50. We've already eaten. Everybody's just sitting there looking at you, waiting on you to kind of finish a dish or even for the dish to be brought out. And finally, the manager just says, hey, listen, we can give you a coupon. Maybe you can come back tomorrow. We'd love to have you, but we're going to go ahead and close. And that's what's happening to modern women. You have men coming out and saying, hey, listen, the good guy, he's already married. Maybe you can come back another day to another event and see if you can find another good guy, but we're going to go ahead and wrap it up. The singles event is closed. These dating apps, you're not going to find what you want. Should have been decisive.
I only have a minute, so I'm going to make this very fast. This message is for the girls and the girls only.
My ability to read the room is a talent, so I don't say any of this to be braggadocious, and I am certainly not aloof to the current climate. I know that people can barely afford food and barely afford to keep a roof over their head, but I am going somewhere with this. There is a message at the end of this. I made 2 TikToks that went baby viral about how well my boyfriend treats me. I am sitting here now packing to go to islands that I have never even fucking heard of, flying first class just because he wants to. Now, this is a life that I did not know existed for me, and had I not decided to leave and choose myself, I would have never known that it could exist for me. Usually, the hard decision is the right decision. You never get to the life that you want staying in some shit that you know is not good for you. So if you take nothing away from what I say, please hear me and hear me good. Choose yourself, get your shit, and go on with your life.
I think we need to start putting caveats on what we say. Because there's a lot of women choosing themselves, modern women choosing themselves, because they hear this message and then they end up saying, dang, I should have humbled myself. I left a good guy and now I regret it. I got divorced. Then I got out here in the dating market thinking that another person was just off rip gonna put up with my nonsense. And nobody seems to put up with my nonsense like my husband.
Hi, it's me. 6 weeks ago, I started this journey on TikTok to prove somebody wrong who fired me from a position that I really cared about under the guise that I'm just not a likable person, that people don't like me. Yesterday, I broke 10,000 followers. So, since I know that you are still watching and recording me, this is for you, you insecure little bitch. I am likable. Ah!
Did you ever think if you were coming into work with energy like this, maybe, just maybe, you weren't good for that position? Maybe he had a point. Maybe, I mean, you can get on the internet and be whatever you want to be. But in this office, when we're all trying to work together, maybe, just maybe, you are too combative. But who knows?
What kills me about the male loneliness epidemic is that women are just as lonely. People just don't care as much. Think about it. Like, really think. If we're having a spike in men that are more lonely than ever, it means there's also a spike in women that are more lonely than ever, but women are choosing to accept it and be okay with it, because women would rather be alone than to be miserable in company. But men would rather make someone miserable than to be alone. So when men are alone, they make it this big ass deal. Oh, male loneliness epidemic. Oh my God, it's an epidemic. But women are just as lonely. They're just taking it better, I guess. I am so grateful to be alive during this time when women are so aware. And I really can't wait for society to get to a point where men are aware as well. I don't think we're going to get to that point in this lifetime. Maybe not while I'm alive. Maybe it's going to take much longer than that. But I hope that one day it does get to a point where men are emotionally aware of what's happening right now. Because the male loneliness epidemic has nothing to do with women and everything to do with men.
Once again, I don't think you guys are getting it. It's you guys that are talking about this, not the men. It's not men talking about this. Number one. Number two, y'all are the ones saying that y'all are not lonely. Y'all are the ones saying that y'all have friends, you have family, you have your tribe, and you'll do just fine. Nobody's talking about this but you.
Yes, ma'am. Yes. Yes, babe. Yep. You're right. Yes, babe, you're right. Yes, ma'am. Yes. You want me to what? You want me to check for you? All right. Yes. 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 What? What you need? Okay. Okay, ma'am. Yes. Yes, babe. Yes. You want me to do that thing? Okay, babe. All right. All right. Huh? later you wanna... Yes, babe, yeah. Yes. Yes.
Somebody said this man is going to be married for 50 years. He won't. There's going to be a woman that sees that he's a nice man, and they're going to disrespect him. So that's going to be short-lived.
Don't tell them how your exes treated you if they didn't treat you well. Don't tell him your deepest insecurities. He's going to use them against you. Don't tell him how much money you make. Don't tell him how much money you have saved up. For all he knows, you're broke and you work 2 jobs. Don't tell him your actual intentions, because at that point he has a playbook to go by. Don't tell him that you're falling for him first. Don't tell him that the connection is making you anxious. Don't tell him that you cancel plans for him. Actually, don't ever cancel plans for a damn man. Oh my God, please don't skip out on plans with your friends for a damn man. And don't ever tell a man that you don't care about money. If anything, when he's wondering why you and your previous connections didn't work out, tell him it's because they didn't spend enough money on you. Don't make your schedule so predictable for him, and please don't tell him about your trauma or your mental health struggles. And also, if anything, use those to your fucking advantage when you need to crash out. For the love of God, please don't tell him your timeline on intimacy. You do that when you want to, if you want to, and if you never decide to, that's totally fine. You cannot be out here just telling them everything. That's like giving them the playbook, and you're going to get scammed, and I'm trying to teach y'all how to scam.
Well, based on the way that you're talking, you don't even need a man. You don't even need to worry about telling them about your mental health struggles. You need to be telling the therapist about your mental health struggles and how toxic you guys are. I just wonder how modern women, how are y'all getting through these sessions without the therapist being flabbergasted and confused as to how y'all are still single? Like, are y'all saying this stuff to y'all's therapist? Are y'all talking to y'all's therapist about this type of stuff that y'all say online? What does your therapist say about this foolishness? I'm genuinely curious.
Okay, I'm filming this like literally mid crash out because I'm just so fucking irritated with the men of this generation, and specifically the men in Denver. Dating in Denver is abysmal. It's actually awful. And I literally feel like the people that were in relationships or are in relationships got the last helicopter out of Nam, because what the fuck am I dealing with? The fact that me and this guy literally confirmed last night that we were going to go on a date tonight at 7. Confirmed. We locked in. I was like, okay, like, we're locking in for 7 tomorrow. Like, perfect, great. Like, excited. So excited. Heard nothing from him today. Literally crickets. I'm nice and gracious and text him at like 4 o'clock. I'm like, we still good for tonight? It is 6:46. Nothing from this man. It literally feels like pulling teeth. Like, oh my God, it's so bad. And then people are like, Kate, like, why are you so anti-men? Like, why do you get that? Girl, do you see what I'm dealing with?
There's a woman in the comments that says, I'll never stop saying how ironic it is that we were raised as girls to believe the quote, men only want one thing. They'll say and do anything to get it. But then they can't even be bothered to show up. Right. Because maybe that one thing that y'all are offering isn't worth it after all. So maybe men are deciding, maybe through discipline or maybe just fatigue of the modern woman, you know, there's too much trouble there. I think I'm going to stay home.
Hey, a lot of guys nowadays, they don't like the women of this generation, but I love them. Let me explain, right? So I was with this girl a few months back, and we would hang out, you know what I'm saying? Like, we was cool. I liked her. She liked me. Like, one night, I told her, I was like, hey, like, maybe you should, you know what I'm saying, cook for me sometime. And she hit me with the, oh, I'm sorry, I only cook for my husband. I was like, you married? She was like, no. She was like, I'm not cooking or cleaning for a man until he gives me a ring. And at first I thought it was fucked up. I'm like, damn, bro, like I paid for dinner, you know what I'm saying? I bought you stuff. But then I got over it after like a few hours, and you know, we kept doing our thing or whatever. And then as time went by, I thought about it and I said, you know what? Like, maybe that's for the best. That means if she don't do certain things for men that aren't her husband, then that means I ain't got to do things, you know, for a woman that ain't my wife. A few weeks later, she called me one night at around like 11. I think she was out clubbing with her girls or some shit. And she's like, hey, Vinny, like, I'm stuck right now and I really need your help. And it's raining and I'm stuck on 85 right now and I'm just trying to get home and I don't know how to change the tire. So I told her, I was like, hey, like, I understand, like, you're in a tough position right now, but unfortunately, I only change tires for my wife. And she hasn't spoken to me since. But at least I didn't have to go out there in the rain and change a fucking tire like 45 minutes away from my house.
Fuck that shit.
I said that women fight for control in a relationship, and so many people came after me in the comments. But tell me, ladies, are you not telling him how to drive? Are you not complaining about the way he folded the clothes? Are you not second guessing every decision he makes? Because when you do all of those things, you're showing him that you don't trust him. That is putting him in a position to be defensive, and you guys should be a team.
This is your sign to never settle for the bare minimum or what you don't deserve. I went out for coffee this morning and my husband was still home, and I texted him before I left and I was like, oh, I just don't feel good, feel good about myself today. Like, I feel really ugly, my acne is really showing, I just don't feel like myself, I don't feel good. And I just got back, he already left for work, and I'm literally crying because I walked in and music was blaring and I was like, what the heck's going on? And I walk in and he's got the song I walked down the aisle to, I'm gonna cry again, blasting on the TV, and he wrote me a letter to make me feel better. Ew, I ugly cried, but I just never thought I was deserving of this, so. Okay, I'm gonna go now, but have a great day, and don't forget your worth, and that you will find it one day, I promise.
Once again, men will do stuff like this. Men do stuff like this all the time. You hear that a lot of men are very romantic. It's just that it's not appreciated. So they kind of take a step back from doing it because they don't feel appreciated. Modern women will get online and say, oh, that's the bare minimum. There's a woman somewhere right now talking about what he did was the least he could do.
I'm not trying to sound depressing, but I am tired. I am so tired of dating. I am always some sort of rebound or distraction for somebody. I feel like the best way to describe what I feel like I am is like this person needs someone to hold their hand to cross the bridge, and I'm that person that is there for them. And then the second they get across, I'm not needed anymore. I'm not good enough. And there's always someone else that follows, and that person is always good enough. I don't get it. I'm just so tired. I'm so tired of it.
If it were like a couple of times, I would have been like, dang, these guys need to get it together. But if this is something that's been happening to you multiple times, we have to start looking at, okay, maybe these guys are losers. We could say pick better, but I think maybe we need to focus on why you keep on running into this type of man. And not only, because the problem is not necessarily that you're running into this type of man, but the problem is you keep on getting involved with this type of man. Why are you not reading the signs and saying, I don't want to waste my time, energy, any of that anymore, and leave that man on the street where you found him?
Honestly, sometimes I wonder how I am as single can be. I think I'm a catch. Honestly speaking, yes, I think I'm a catch. I mean, I have a good job. I'm smart. I am fairly attractive. I'm definitely not ugly. I'm in good shape. I work out. I'm 5'5", 125 pounds, size 2 to 4. I decorate my home. I cook. I can make tortillas. I dress well. I'm good with my money. I might have a little bit of a shopping problem, but I buy quality things. I'm a homebody, but I also like to party, so you get the best of both worlds. I'm Latina. That in itself, I mean, honestly, I don't know why I'm single. I really don't.
And I think this is actually a joke, to be honest. Just, there's a guy in the comments that says, words I did not hear: understanding, caring, empathetic, trustworthy. That's really it. I'm respectful. I'm a respectful person. You didn't hear any of that. How do I show respect to really anybody? I mean, we can say specifically to a man, but really anybody. How do I show respect? If men don't hear that nowadays, I don't know if your beauty and everything else that you listed really matters.
A little bit peeved today because I have a beautiful, gorgeous, stunning friend, best friend of mine, who is talking to a fucking loser. He's a bum. And I'm pissed off because if this were fucking war times, there'd be 10 soldiers dead on a battlefield with her face in their locket. Every single one of them would have died, being like, I can't wait to see her where I go. And she would have played it off. She would have saved this fucking country because there'd be so many men fighting for her love when they came home and they all died for it anyways. They'd be in their bunkers writing handwritten notes to her. My love, I cannot wait to come home to you. She'd be sending lockets of hair. They'd be sniffing it, jorking their fucking...
Well, I think the problem is some of those same ladies, when you figure out that they send all of these messages while the man is on the battlefield, but then when you actually get home and realize that there was another man in their bed while they were gone, I think that might be a problem. Even if they weren't really married, the man is on the verge of, death could be 2 or 3 seconds away. And he's spending his time writing how much he loves her, right? To come home and find out she's actually had interest and has been entertaining a couple of other guys. So that's when men stop going to war for random women. And they say, you know what? I'm going to find me a wife and kids. And they're going to be the things that are important to me. My family, my friends are going to be the thing that's important to me. So this treatment that y'all used to get, a man buying you an ice cream cone and a root beer float just because he wanted to be nice, I don't know how many times that's going to happen anymore. Y'all are pretty rude. Y'all are pretty inconsiderate. And quite honestly, you don't deserve a lot of men's attention.
I've come to realize that women in 2025 are just moving different. So it was this girl who I probably hadn't talked to in over 10 years, probably since I was like a freshman, sophomore in high school. And she randomly followed me on TikTok and then on Instagram, which I was kind of butthurt about because I followed her a few months ago and she never followed me back. But yeah, she followed me. I decided to follow her back, and then she posted a story. And, I hit the quick like on the story just to let her know, hey, I'm here if you ever need me. And then one day shortly after that, she randomly DM'd me on Instagram saying, what are you doing? But not what are you doing, just WYD. So in my opinion, that's a pretty bold message to send somebody, first message. But I also thought it was funny and bold, so I was with it. So I replied and I let her know, oh, I'm just getting back home from hanging out with a friend. Why, what's up? And at this point, I figured she wasn't with the small talk, so I just let her know, hey, if you want to see me, I'm down to do something. So she sends me her number, and I forgot what I was doing, but I don't see the message for a few minutes. And then next thing I know, I get a message that says, bitch, you're on Cinderella time. If you don't answer by 12, you lost your chance. And honestly, that is one of the boldest messages I've ever gotten. And I thought to myself, shit, maybe I'm just not built for women in 2025. So what did I do? I got ready and I went to see her. Shoot your shot, ladies.